Over the last few parshas, the Torah touches on two important topics: schar va'onesh, reward and punishment, and bracha u'klala, blessing and curse. Last week's parsha of Ekev contains the second paragraph of the Shema. From that paragraph, we are told that if the nation follows God's commandments, then he will bring rain down upon the land at its time. If the nation doesn't take heed of God's commandments, then he will prevent the rain from falling at its time. This is considered to be a classic example of schar va'onesh. If you follow, then you are rewarded. If you don't, then you are punished. This week's parsha of Reeh deals with bracha u'klala. From the text, if we listen to God, then we receive the blessing. If we don't, then we receive the curse. Doesn't this sound exactly like schar va'onesh? If you listen, then you receive the blessing or reward. And if you don't, then you receive the curse or punishment. If these two ideas are so similar, then why does the Torah describe it as two different concepts when they both clearly reflect the same idea? Indeed, at first glance, schar va'onesh and bracha u'klala do look very similar. But on closer inspection, they are actually quite different concepts. In the paragraph of the Shema that portrays schar va'onesh, the Torah says that if you listen to God, then you will receive something in return, rain. This is the essence of reward, receiving something in return for doing something. This idea is similar to someone who is an employee. A person works for a company and receives a salary in recompense to the work that he did. If a person doesn't listen to God and doesn't follow God's commandments, then he can't receive that salary from God. He didn't do the work, so God can't pay him. For the commandments that are between man and God, that is the punishment, not earning the reward. In the end, it is your actions that determine if you deserve to receive the reward or not. The idea of bracha u'klala does sound similar to schar va'onesh. However, upon examining the text in detail, the Torah is in fact describing something that is different. Reeh, behold, anochi noten lifnechem hayom, I am giving to you today, bracha u'klala, a blessing and a curse. The Torah is telling us that regardless, God is bestowing upon us his shefa, his abundance, his good. How we experience and receive that shefa, however, is entirely up to us. It can either be as a blessing or as a curse. How is that? If we listen to God, do his mitzvot, and continually work on ourselves, then what God is giving us will be for us as a blessing. If we ignore what God asked of us, meaning we disregard our relationship with him and stray from the path that he set for us, then we will not be ready to receive what he is emanating, thereby causing what is being given to us to be as a curse. Illustrating with a simple example, a disposable plastic cup will most likely melt upon pouring in boiling water, whereas a hot cup can properly hold the water for future use. In other words, schar va'onesh is causality. If X, then Y. In contrast, bracha u'klala is the result of appropriate or suitable preparation. For either type, in our relationship with God, it is left up to us to determine where we stand, hopefully choosing to receive the reward and being able to accept God's abundance as a blessing. Shabbat Shalom.